You'll want to listen to this video because it is super important, SDC. That's right. We're going to be talking about the podcast challenge.
First things first, please check out the SDC Spring 2021 schedule on Tuesday, February 9th or Wednesday, February 10th. You'll notice that there's a podcast challenge. Please go ahead and click on that. That'll take you to the directions. We're going to go ahead and explain to you in detail what we're looking for in this fun group challenge.
The first thing you're going to see is SDC Podcast Challenge. Listening is at noon on Friday, so be prepared for that. We also have an example, and you'll find an example of this podcast. It's called Ludology. This is episode 234.5, but we just want you to listen to it because it's got a great opening, and then it gets into it. So let's hear how this sounds.
Welcome to Ludology, a podcast about the why of gaming. This is Game Tech Classic with Jeff Engelstein.
Boom, right there. You notice that it starts with this nice classical background. You captured the name of the podcast, the name of the episode, the purpose of it, right? All within, what are we at? 14 seconds. So that was a solid intro. You'll also notice that this one is 6 minutes, so that fits within our time frame of 3 to 7 minutes. And it also provides you a brief description of what the podcast is all about. You will also be expected to do this. We highly encourage you to check this one out. It's Mr. Krill's favorite.
I love it.
Also, check out some other examples, right? Perhaps you're familiar with other podcast examples.
That would be a great idea.
We're going to break this down to before, during, and after. Mr. Krill's going to kick it off with the before.
All right, before, I'm just going to rock down this list here. You're going to want to form a team. You did that already and you shared it with us. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is name your podcast and name your episode. This could be like episode 18 or 27. Remember, you want to feel like you've made this podcast many, many times, so we want to feel that. Also, choose your main topic, establish your podcast theme, episode and title, strong call to action, and then you want to consider how to reach your audience. Who is your audience? Just like we do with Lake Geneva, you pick different clientele, you want to do the same thing. Establish a plan and a script. This is necessary so that things move smoothly. Then set a plan, research a bit, and have a few speaking points planned out. This actually could be the topic you're choosing for your TED Talk. We're doing those in the future, so start thinking those through. Make sure you have an intro, a body, have those points that you're talking about, and then some sort of conclusion, and this whole thing should be done in 3 to 7 minutes long. Make sure you have really awesome intro and outro outside of this podcast information that you share in like your episode 12.
And yes, to those of you who are already thinking, we are strict on that time frame, 3 to 7 minutes. While you are recording, please use clear diction. Be mindful of the words that you are using. Put some emphasis in there, clarity. Enunciate your words. Take some authentic pauses. Watch your pacing. Make sure the environment is quiet. Get rid of those distractions. We don't want to hear wind. We don't want to hear machines. We don't want to hear other people in the background. Pick your recording place strategically. Have speaking cues as well, especially those of you that are working in larger groups. Point to one another, give some eye contact, hold up a card so that not everyone's speaking at once, but you also know who's speaking and when. Also, it's a podcast. Be prepared to make some mistakes, right? The important part is to keep going, recover, or you could even start a new recording. That's right, people. You can edit it out if you make mistakes. It's up to you. And please, Mr. Krill, no giggles. You're doing a great job right now holding back, by the way.
I know, this is hilarious stuff here. So when you're done with all of this, you're going to use the lab to use Premiere Pro to edit and produce your content. Remember, you can remove all the unnecessary noises and mistakes and sounds. You also can create background music and sound effects. You can also make sure that you make this environment feel good for the audience. Like if you're talking about the ocean, you have sounds of waves, or if you're at a party, you hear some cool sounds in the background, or whatever you're trying to do. Whatever those cool sounds.
There we go.
Yeah. So, and then select and create an image to represent your podcast, just like Ludology did, or many of the other podcasts. You must include an introduction and outroduction with music and show-catching appeal. And remember, it should seem like this podcast is just one episode of many. And so you really want to think about your theme before you come up with your episode and content. Export it on MP4, the image of the podcast and the theme and the episode, and then write up a podcast description, just like we showed you. Keep it precise. You're only allowed at 255 characters. And then remember that this is due on Friday at noon, so be prepared with a presentation. So Ms. Buckley, you want to talk about Bakermeister and wrap this up?
We are going to the Bakermeister. It's a very small bakery if you've never been there, which is why we needed to divide the groups into 2 sections. So group 1 consists of Groups 1, 2, and 3, Rome, Sam, Daniel, Chase, Lydia, Andy, Austin, Julia, Molly, Payne, and Brooke. You are going to meet Mr. Krill and I outside of Bakermeister at noon. Group 2 is going to meet us outside of the Bakermeister at 12:30. That is Kane, Ben, Peyton, Jacob, Tyler, Emery, Kennedy, Anna, Kenzie, Emma, and Carly. 12:30 Bakermeister. They are awesome to us. They'll probably provide us a pretzel or two, but if you want to, help them out, please bring a couple bucks. They have bread, other goodies, whatever. Mr. Crow's mouth's watering right now.
It is. I love pretzels, but what I love more is when you come with questions. So please be selfish. Be selfish and think about things you want to know about this gentleman named Michael and his bakery. You might not be going into kitchenery. I don't even know how to say cookery. You might not want to be a baker. That's what I'm trying to say. So,
Crow's making up words now. That means we gotta wrap this up.
I'm making up words. We need to wrap this up. But anyways, come with good questions. Come dressed professionally, and then use the other time that you have for working on the podcast. Tomorrow is an off-campus day, so don't come here. Go to Bakermeister at your time. Touch base with us if you have any emails. Last thoughts, Miss Buckel?
We're so excited. It's going to be a great day. We're looking forward to your podcast challenge. That's all we have for you today.